All set? Okay, good morning, everybody. It's 10:30. I'll call the public safety meeting to order. Becky, would you do roll call, please?
Sure will. Mike Copine,
Here?
Keen Hudson,
Present.
Katie White, Michael Pearson, Kevin Lally,
Present.
Chris Robertson.
Present.
Okay, we're setting good for quorum. Okay. Anybody here want to discuss anything? Tom, welcome. Good to see you out and about. Oh, come on. Okay. Anybody else have anything? I think Amy has something that she would like to bring up. Will be for discussion only at this time. So Amy, it's your show.
Good morning. Thank you. I don't have anything on the agenda, but this is pressing and I apologize in advance. Late last week, it was brought to our attention that the governor passed a public act that became effective July 1st. In essence, they added a $5 increase to the civil filing fees and appearance fee schedules for the circuit clerk's office. We have until the end of the month to implement this, which is fine on our end. We'll change our case management system for these fees to be added. But with that said, the county board needs to review ordinance number 05-19-005 that was filed back in May of 2019 that will need to amend this to reflect those changes. So I did provide Jeremy and Charlie copies of that with all the changes. Again, I know this has to go through the motions and we have to vote on it and whatnot, but in effect, it has to go with the clerk's office right now. So we will be adding those fees when new filings come in.
Becky, do we need a board action on that? Okay,
So thank you. That's all I have.
isn't it fun?
It's great.
Okay, thanks, Amy. Anybody else have any comments or anything? Okay, if not, we'll start into the reports. Did you have a chance to take a look at last month's minutes? Are there any changes or corrections to be made? Hearing none, I'll accept the minutes as submitted.
Mike, we got Mike Pearson
Oh,
on
I'm
now
sorry.
too. So he just joined us.
All right, good morning, Mike. We got you here. Okay, Mike's aboard and looks like he's on dry ground, so we're okay. Okay, Terry, would you like to share your report or information regarding it?
Morning. I didn't really have much, I guess. You've got the graphs. The other thing is, there's been conversation about longevity of animals. So I am working on a report, that you guys could understand easy enough. It'll be in an Excel. So I hope to have that next month. I started working on it last month, so.
Okay, anything else? Any questions for Terry for animal control? Okay, thanks, Terry. Appreciate it. I don't have anything from the coroner, the judges, or the public defender. Seth, emergency management, would you like to, looks like you've got some interesting information to share with us.
Yeah, it's just a summary of our most recent tornado Sunday night. I think the most interesting thing, I didn't really highlight that, but it was pretty much going due east for most of its duration and then literally made a 90-degree turn to the north and then crossed Route 30 and then did a turn to the northwest. So it was just interesting to see that. And in talking with the National Weather Service, down near Ransom, Illinois, they had, I think, 2 tornadoes that they're a little bit times apart, but they were doing, one did almost a circle and intertwined with the path of the previous tornado. So it just reiterates the fact that there's no safe place near a tornado. You know, all these weather chasers out there, you just never know. I shouldn't say safe place would be in the basement. There is a safe place near a tornado, but definitely not in a car trying to chase it around because it can turn at a moment's notice. And then this morning, so far so good. We haven't had reports of any major issues, north, south, east, and west. Multiple reports of the 70 to 80 mile per hour straight line winds, but as far as I know, we've been spared most of that.
Okay, any questions for Seth? Thank you, Seth. Appreciate it. Okay, nothing from the health department. Stacy's not available. Sheriff's tied up. From what I understand, he sent me a text probably about an hour ago now, said he couldn't make it. There was a 2 semi-unit accident at Route 52 in Robbins Road. That's all I know at the time. And the road was shut down, so I'm not sure if they've cleared from it yet or not.
They are still out there. One was a tanker hauling, I believe, diesel, but luckily it just unloaded. Because it was a T-bone crash with 2 semis and I think both of them were on their sides. So again, escaped major catastrophe, it sounds like.
Well, and I would imagine the stopping distance regardless of the direction of travel with the one on 52 with the road surface and the wetness and everything probably didn't lend too much help by being able to stop. So hopefully nobody's hurt bad if they're hurt at all. So Mr. Boonstra, you're up.
Thank you, sir. I guess to get ahead of it, the collections information I do not have available right now. I think I missed last month as well. So if you'd like, I can either get it to you next month or I can email it over to Becky, who can put it on onboard for you to consider later.
Next month's fine.
Okay. I did pass out a little bit of information, the historical information going back to 2016 when we had filed felony cases, how many were filed and where we were at about 230 because we were at 231 as of today. We are well ahead of schedule when it comes to the amount of cases that we would have filed. As you would see that most of the time in the last 10 years, it would be the end of September before we'd start hitting that number. So I can't take, like I said, I can't take all the credit in terms of the filings themselves. I think the legislature certainly deserves a lot of the credit when it comes to the Safety Act and allowing folks to get back out and commit new and interesting crimes whenever they'd like to. So we are efficiently closing cases as well. I know that it probably looks a little daunting when you look at the numbers here, but we on average close anywhere between 20 and 25, sometimes more per month. And that's just including the felony matters. That's not traffic misdemeanor. That's not juvenile cases. So we are keeping up with trying to close out cases as well. So again, what you'll see is we're ahead of schedule. I would assume that we'll breach the 300 felony marker by at least the end of October, beginning of November, if we keep on track right now. But just want to bring it to your attention so you can see we're busy.
That doesn't even include all your misdemeanors.
No, it doesn't even touch on them. Nope. And I actually had an email from Stacy Stewart about a week ago when she saw the numbers coming through and she said, "Can you please slow down? We can't keep up."
She'll figure a way.
Yep.
Okay. Is there any hope or anything stirring in legislation wise on the Safety Act?
None that I'm aware of. I know there was some rumblings when it first dropped in September of 2023 that perhaps they'd go back through and clean up some of this stuff. And one of the things that we've talked about internally and even with the judges and public defender's office is what we'd like to see happen is that there's not this restriction on what offenses somebody could be detained on, but rather that the judge would have the discretion to detain on whatever offense comes through. That's the problem that we have right now, that you can have somebody that's picked up for specific offenses, and unless we can show that there is clear and convincing evidence that they're a flight risk, which most of the time it's a pretty steep hill to climb, those people are being released on conditions. And then if they do commit a new offense, which a lot of them do, we're able to do petitions to revoke their pretrial release. It gives the judges more discretion if they don't have to follow through with these set of offenses that they can only detain on, but rather that they can detain on the people that they know are having a trouble getting to court and not committing new crimes.
Well, I could understand if there was a reasonable point that they could make that determination of when and they were or were not going to detain them.
Yep.
But from a lot of the stuff that I've seen that you've handled out of your office.
Yeah, I mean, we try to detain where we
repeat
can.
Offenders.
Yep.
You know, and I'm in favor of course, my opinion doesn't count anything anyway, but I'd lock them all up.
I see recently, Charlie, that, in fact, within the last month, a couple individuals, when one individual had been, been released and since then violated those terms on felony charges 9 more times.
Yep. Yeah. It's frustrating to say the least.
It has to be.
Okay, thanks, Charlie. Anybody have any questions for Charlie? Okay, thanks, sir. Appreciate it. Okay, Mr. Jeremy. Abandoned properties, anything new for us?
Abandoned nuisance properties, focus group did not meet this month due to budget hearings, ongoing budget hearings, but that does not mean the work has not stopped, or the work has stopped. Some updates, the interdepartment collaboration between the building and zoning and compliance, as well as the health department, has continued to grow, specifically with the interfacing through iWork, which is the software that the building and zoning department has brought in this last year. Jared Yater has been a phenomenal asset in creating the platforms internally that we need for our departments, and has also done the same in setting up the health department in that. Again, we are now able to access the data that we need between the departments to continue to work on some of these nuisance issues, instead of having to dig into, different file systems or have back and forth communication between departments. It's all in one system integrated. So we're continuing to work on that, which is great. In regard to our Strong Communities program, again, that's closing out in November. All of the funds have been exhausted between our 2 municipal partners, one City of Amboy and the other one the City of Dixon. We are able to recapture some administrative costs, so we are doing that as well. But again, as I reported before, the county is not applying, had not applied for the 3rd round of this program. We had communicated with a handful of the different municipal governments on processing themselves that grant application. So we're not playing the middleman. So I do believe Ashton, I don't know if Amboy ended up putting in an application, and I know the City of Dixon did as well. So we'll continue to support just from our experience, but we're not actually doing that, facilitating that program this coming year. With that, we are still actively working on our plan for some of our larger properties that we did assume ownership of this past year. One, Lee Center School, the other being Aldina Infirmary. I just on Friday met with an environmental group out there to do a quick on-site inspection on what we might need to be looking at for abatement. They will be sending a report out, and then that's going to be our next step in this process, is getting a full abatement inspection for asbestos, because that has to be abated prior to demo and then greenfielding. So then after that, we will get an entire, we'll go out for bid and get some estimates back on what this is going to cost for both of these properties to be abated and then demoed and turned into greenfield. And then that's going to give us and the county board an idea of what we're going to have to budget to take care of these things. After that, it's going to be a process of continuing to work with trying to identify a developer for either housing development, which is what we're preferring, or in worst case, auctioning it, doing an auction of these properties and trying to recoup some of the expense to bring back into the fold for the next properties that we're going to have to take care of. So continuing to work on these, and it's a little bit of a slow process, but hopefully in the next few months, we'll have identified at least some potential expenses on what this is actually going to cost us. We could budget that in for 27.
Okay, anybody have any questions regarding the abandoned properties and everything? Okay, thanks, Jeremy, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, Northwest Criminal Justice Commission, Mr. Hudson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There was no meeting last month, Northern West Illinois Criminal Justice Commission. Therefore, there will be no report, and the next quarterly meeting will be in September.
Okay, anybody have any questions for Mr. Hudson on Northwest Criminal Justice? Okay, thanks, Kane. Okay. There's nothing listed on unfinished business. However, Jeremy, I'm going to kind of toss this your way. Are we up to speed communication wise and everything for Veterans Office?
Yep, everything's ready to go. Are you
Okay.
saying just from their, the issues that they had with the phones and all of that?
Good.
Yep. So our IT, last month, was able to take care of that for them. Bruce has his own dedicated line, that folks can communicate and call in on. And we have, fixed, some of the communication issues that we had internally between the office, but
Okay,
everything's running.
Glad to hear that. Oh, thanks to IT on that. Okay. I have nothing scheduled for new business, and unless Mr. Boonster has anything, I have nothing scheduled for an executive session. Okay, being at that point, I entertain a motion for adjournment. Mr. Hudson's first, Mr. Lally second. Didn't catch you quick enough, Mike. We'll get you next round. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, so moved. Meeting